Hello and welcome back to the garden and back to the white garden. And I've started to make some changes. Yes, it's mid to late summer and I'm making changes, but the changes I'm making are for next year, not for this year. And I've got a good reason why, because some of the plants have just not performed last year and this year, and the main one is the roses. I've got 2 roses here at the front and 2 on the other side, and they have just not performed at all this year. Last year they weren't too bad. This year I've had very few flowers and they've got every disease going. They've got black spot, mold, they've got everything. They've just haven't done well, and I've just got to bite the bullet, accept the fact that roses don't do well in this part of the garden. I'm surrounded by deciduous trees and hedges. The ground is, we sit on a shelf of sandstone because obviously it's an old quarry, so there's not much depth to the soil. The soil is clay, which roses don't mind, but I think it must be they can't actually get their roots down that far. It's only about that much depth in the soil, so they're not doing very well at all. Plus we've had the worst couple of years for wet weather that I've ever known, certainly in the years that I've lived in this house. And all of those reasons why I think is just they're not doing well at all. So I'm going to take them out. When I started the garden 4 years ago, 5 years, I dug the grass out. 4 years I started to plant. I added the things that I loved at that point. But I've come to realise now what you love isn't necessarily what's going to work in your garden. So you have to just adapt and just say to yourself, I've tried and they just don't work, and find something else that does work. So that's where I'm at, and that's what I'm doing today. So first of all, I'm going to cut back the geraniums. Now they've done okay, so they will go back at some point. I'm going to dig them out though, and then I'm going to dig the roses out. So let me show you the other side where I've actually already done this. So I've dug out the roses and the geraniums. They'll go back, the geraniums, at some point in the future, but I've added these Shasta daisies, and already I'm so pleased that I went ahead and actually took the roses out, because I just think it looks so much better. Also have these self-seeded umbellifers. This is a milk parsley, and I have those right throughout the white garden, so that will obviously stay. Got the white Annabelle hydrangea that I added earlier on this year. This was from a cutting that I took a few years ago, this particular shrub. But I need to have some balance, so I'm going to add another hydrangea here, another Annabelle. And in fact, I'm going to do that on all the corners in here in the white garden, because it's the one plant that really does seem to enjoy the conditions that I've got here. And they do give that bit of wow this time of year. So I'm going to add the Annabelle. I've got some Brunnera that I'm going to add underneath here too. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'll get all of these in the ground and we'll see what it looks like at the end. That's all of the plants in the ground. But just before I turn the camera around and show you what they look like, I just wanted to say a special thank you to my aunt and uncle, the Rossiters, because they gifted me some vouchers earlier this year for my birthday, some gardening vouchers. And I have bought all of the plants today in the video with those vouchers. So it's a special thank you to them. So let me turn the camera around and show you what everything looks like. So this is what it looks like. It's a new hydrangea. On this side it's an Annabelle. Flowers are just about turning. Got the daisies, the Brunnera, and a big gap behind, but I am going to make more changes. I've got the new delphiniums that I added earlier, a couple of months ago. This is a big section that needs changing. Something to look forward to in the autumn and the spring. Then you've got the milk parsley, which is just coming into flower. Let's see if I can pull this forward. That gives you an idea of what it's like. It's like a starburst. Beautiful. And then on this side is the other hydrangea, which I grew from a cutting a couple of years ago. So that's looking really good. Now let's see the other side. So on this side, I haven't as yet added the second hydrangea. This is another one that I grew from a cutting a couple of years ago. I've added 2 of the Shasta daisies and 1 of the Brunnera, but I've left 1 of the roses in because it did have quite a few flowers on, so I might as well enjoy those. Similarly, this is a self-seeded Baltic, no, it's not a Baltic parsley, it's a milk parsley, and it has just about come into flower, and it's such a shame to dig it out because it looks so pretty, or it will do, certainly in a couple of days' time. And then you've got the Phlox David at the back. Camera's struggling to adjust to the colours. Got Joe Pyeweed in the middle here, just here, very hard to see with all of the other whites. More Phlox David and the Shasta daisies at the front. I've got a couple more that I need to put in, but I'll add those in the autumn time. Again, the camera's struggling with all of the white flowers. It can't seem to, there you go. Hopefully you can see that now. How do the nettles grow so big? But that's it for today from a gorgeous Northumberland day. Thanks for watching and I'll see you soon.